Sup neighbours? So I discovered Samsa a while back. I was on the train, going to school, listening to Spotify, and his song Butterflies start playing. And dang, this song is good. His lyrics have some of the quirkiest wordplay I've ever heard. So in this video, I'm going to break down each one of those and give them a rating out of 10.
I think I'm in love, but I've been feeling otherwise. These flutters in my stomach aren't butterflies, but cutting knives and not the butter.
Getting butterflies when you fall in love is normal. It's that jittery excitement you get in your stomach when you think of the person. Getting cutting knives is not. When love is mixed with doubt, it creates a feeling that tears you up inside. Kind of like cutting knives. Not those blunt ones you use to spread butter, but the ones that actually hurt. If you commit to the feeling and you're wrong, then it just ends with someone getting hurt. But if you're right, well then you're right. You found something great. 6 out of 10. The next section isn't any kind of wordplay, but it is good imagery, so it gets an honorable mention.
And if you listen close when she begins to speak, you'll hear a couple hundred sighs in the collective shut of eyes.
That's a common reaction when I speak.
Letters linger on her lips like lullabies. I think I've drowned a couple times inside her opal colored.
Overused metaphor for good imagery. 4 out of 10. Side note, is opal white or blue? I'm going to assume blue because he drowns in her eyes. I'll bump this up to a 5 out of 10.
She could do something as simple as sit down with the grace of Olympic dives. A perfect 10 photo shutter finish on her cocoa butter.
This is taking hyperboles to the next level, unless the dives look like this. He probably means dives that look like this. He is so enamored of this girl that just the act of her sitting down captivates him. The transition after this is subtle too. Her sitting down is a 10, and so are her thighs. Now we know them thighs are. In the second half of the last line, he says finish on her cocoa butter thighs. This brings up the image of something like a lacquer finish on wood. Nice even finish, no blemishes, dark complexion. But it also brings up another image. And if that's the case, then what constitutes a perfect 10 finish? Anyway, 8 out of 10.
Catch her wearing loose pajamas on a Sunday, and she'd overshadow any supermodel on a runway. When she wakes up in the morning, she smells like vanilla essence and a bittersweet recollections of your adolescence.
The rhyming in these 3 lines is so good. The first 2 lines are straightforward, but the last line is interesting. Smell is the sense most strongly tied to memory, so she probably reminds him of the rejection, the heartbreak, and the sleepless nights he experienced during his adolescent years. But with that also comes a memory of love and longing and all those intimate moments he shared with his past girlfriends. She reminds him of the days when there was less to worry about, and now that he's an adult pursuing adult relationships, there's a lot more to think about. Adults come with emotional baggage, and sometimes you look at the other person and think, I wish I could be there for you, but I don't know how. This ties back into the first 2 lines of the song. He says he thinks he's in love, but he's been feeling otherwise. He wants this to work, but he's just not emotionally mature enough to support her and give her what she needs. Or, he just wants some smash. And he realizes this is just a superficial fling. 9 out of 10. Who knew 5 words could convey so much meaning?
Summer camp and piano lessons and presents you got on birthdays, orange creamsicles and double plays on first base. And walk past her in the halls, and if your shoulders feel the slightest brush, you might melt to liquid gold, the lightest kind of Midas touch.
I really like these lines. The Midas touch metaphor has been done before, but I think this little twist is endearing. Like, this girl is so hot that if you even graze her, you'd melt into gold. But as much as I like these lines, I think it deserves a 6 out of 10.
I've seen the way she drinks espresso during classes and reshapes a paper cup into an emerald covered chalice.
So I scored the Midas touch a 6 out of 10. But I think I'll give it a 7 now, because it sets up these 2 lines really well. It's not just whatever she touches becomes gold, but whatever she touches becomes valuable. If we take this a step further, then we could say that whenever she touched him, he considered himself valuable. It sounds cute, but it means he placed all his self-value in her, which is an extremely unhealthy mindset to have when you're in a relationship. It creates expectations which your partner probably can't live up to, which leads to disappointment and ultimately heartbreak. So, in a vacuum, the Midas touch metaphor gets a 6, but in conjunction with these two lines, it gets a 7 out of 10. After this, there isn't much wordplay until the second half of the second verse, so we'll skip to that part of the song.
Trust me, really, she is just the worst of board games. Debates about the rules like legislators at a court case. Tampers with the scales of justice, wielding pencils as her gavel.
The simile and metaphor are easy to understand. It's simple, but clever. 7 out of 10. And that's it. The rest of the song is quite literal, but that doesn't mean it's not good. There are sequels to this song which tells the story of this relationship. Butterflies describes how he fell in love with this girl and how in awe he is of her. The two songs that continue the story are Solo and Komodo. Solo is about how she left him without any clear reason. Komodo is him reflecting on the relationship and trying to find a reason for her leaving. It's actually quite depressing and a large contrast to Butterflies, but check those songs out. I reckon they're pretty good as well.